Yeah, man. Welcome. Okay, a little pre-show stuff going on here. We go live in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Here we go. Another Thursday night, another Fader night. Welcome everybody as everybody starts to accumulate here. We're on a 20-second delay, so there you go. But anyway, welcome. Thursday night, Fader night. John Rappaport's going to be here with his No More Fake Newsroom. And couple of things. One, we're going to go with straight open lines in about an hour, and the phone numbers are posted. We'll get it up in the chat rooms. We'll get it up in Twitter as we always do every night. Tonight, little special treat for everybody. We're going to go ahead and broadcast live out to YouTube as well, just for fun. We don't do it that often, but I think this is 3 times we've done it in 4 times in 5 years. Whatever. But anyway, so welcome to everybody out there. Now, John's going to be in here tonight. One of the things that we've kind of let go this week, a couple of comments here and there and some updates, is the Las Vegas shooting. But John, who is one of the best reporters and researchers and journalists out there, has been looking into this, obviously, from the very, very beginning. He's got a lot of inside sources and things that aren't out there in the media. And I don't know what John is going to talk about tonight. I don't know about his sources or data, information. I don't know any of it. I want to catch it firsthand with all of you. So get ready for that at the bottom of the hour. Now, every week when we bring in John on Thursday, I never talk about what he's going to talk about. Most shows, I don't know. I don't want to know on and be caught by surprise. But I knew tonight, when I was talking to him earlier today, I knew where he was going to go tonight. And I've chosen to, until I get more and more information, I really don't have much to say. I just have opinions. And opinions I don't like doing. I like going with data. So tonight, John will be covering that. I am going to be talking a little bit about flat Earth. So there you go. A little bit different take on it. No, I'm not leaning towards the Earth being flat, but a very interesting take tonight. So we're going to do that and then open up the phone lines. Now, everything is on the table tonight. Obviously, a lot of you are going to want to talk about Las Vegas, and I get that. But all things paranormal and conspiracy are on the table. Let's have some fun tonight. And the phones are going to be packed, and I get that. So let's just do this. It is Thursday night. It's Fader night. It's my favorite night of the week. I do want to remind everybody, tomorrow night I will be over at Coast to Coast AM, sitting in for George Norrie tomorrow night. Now, tonight is open lines here on Fade to Black. Great. Tomorrow night, open lines on Coast to Coast. So it's 2 full nights of me manning the chair and taking care of the phones. And it's one of my favorite things to do is to talk to all of you. Okay? With that, we go live in 30 seconds. Okay? So you guys stay right there.
bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Well. Fade to Black. Welcome. Thursday night, Fadernights. Best night of the week. Today's October 5th. 278 days into the new year. Just 87 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It is Thursday night. It's another Fader night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live. Followed by open lines all night long. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Now, I'm looking at the phone lines. I haven't even opened them, and they're jammed. So, kick back. We got a lot to do before we open up the phone lines. All right, if you're calling in now, you're not going to get to the head of the line. It's not going to be that kind of party. But I do want to hear from you. We've got a lot of stuff going on out there in the world. You can follow me on Twitter right now at JChurchRadio. Okay, at JChurchRadio. Now, I say this every Thursday night. Twitter's jammed up every night of the week with us, but Thursday night is a special night. It's open lines all night long. The show is all about you. So, follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio, and then use the hashtag F2B. That is the sandbox. We use TweetDeck here. It runs automatically right in front of me. I got all of my columns, and they're clicking by right now. So that's what you want to do. At JChurchRadio, hashtag F2B. Okay, we use TweetDeck. Use TweetDeck. It makes life really easy. It's a whole new Twitter world for you once you start using TweetDeck. Also, 2 chat rooms. We have the Spreaker chat room. We have the KGRA, the Planet chat room. Both of those are active and right in front of me, okay? So if you don't deal with Twitter, you don't want to, that's fine. You can visit one of our chat rooms, okay? So welcome, everybody. It is Thursday night. I am in the chair. We've got and had a very, very busy week here on the show. So there's lots to talk about tonight. I love it when we get to Thursday and open lines. Tomorrow night, I will be over hosting Coast to Coast AM. Once again, sitting in for George and Ori on a Friday night, which means open lines tomorrow night, all night long as well. I'm going to open the show tomorrow night with Damon T. Barry, and he's going to be my only guest tomorrow night. That's what I do on Friday nights over at Coast. Some nights, no guest at all. Just open up the phone lines. But we're going to do that tomorrow night, Damon T. Barry. So come over and hang out with us and try to get in. Try to get in. Nothing like a Fadernight when they call. You know, it's pretty cool when I'm over at Coast, you know, because I do so many nights in a row here on Fade to Black. And then I'll go over to Coast, and inevitably, I've done this a few times, I slip up and say, we'll be right back. This is Fade to Black, right? Well, but then there'll be the Fadernight that calls in and says, go Beckley Teppy. You know, so that's pretty cool over at Coast. And then also the Coast listeners, you know, the Coast listeners, Coast insiders, and the regulars that do make it in on the phone lines over there. that say that they appreciate Fade to Black. So that's really, really cool. So it's just kind of like just continuing the Fade to Black week and then going over and hanging out, doing open lines over there. So there you go. So where do I go with that, right? We do so many shows and it all just blurs together, right? It just all blurs together. And I swear, going over to Coast because the microphone is the same. I take my own headphones and I'm drinking River Moon coffee and I've got the same kind of. It's just like I don't even know where I am sometimes, but it's pretty cool until you hear that. That bumper music, that coast bumper music kicking in the beginning of the show. It alerts me where I'm at. All right. So tonight, Thursday night, open lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. We'll get to the calls in a moment. Don't forget to follow us and like us, YouTube, subscribe. Facebook, YouTube, everything is over at jimmychurchradio.com. Any questions or comments during the show tonight in Twitter, use hashtag F2BQ. Now, Jimmy asked John what his favorite pizza place is. Oh, okay. That's in Twitter. That's Fade to Black. That's the first question of the night, pizza. Started the great pizza debate last night on the show. And I'm pretty firm. In my stance here. There is no such thing as cheese pizza. That's cheesy bread. Okay. Pizza starts, the word pizza, for me, and I think that I'm going to establish the standard here. Pepperoni. It starts with pepper. Then you can call it a pizza. Okay. So over on Facebook today, I just thought I'd have fun with it. And it's gotten completely out of control, man. Americans love our pizza. And so I started the great pizza debate. Maybe I'll read some of those comments as the show goes on tonight. Pretty funny. And then I took it a step further. I thought, okay, you know what? I get it. But what are your favorite pizza places in the town that you live in the community that you live in, around the world, not just here in the United States, everywhere. And man, wow, the photographs and everything are just really, really, really cool. We love our pizza, and everybody's got their favorite pizza joint. So there you go. Yeah. I'm digging it, man. I like what you guys are doing. I like where you guys are going with this. You can email throughout the show tonight, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. It's very simple, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. I have email in here, but the email that gets in here to me is filtered. It's got to be good. If it's good, it gets in here to me. And if it gets that far, maybe I'll read it on the air. And if you're really lucky, I'll write you back. Right? How cool would that be? Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. We have over 730 archive shows. We have custom apps, Apple, Android, everything right there. Just $2 a month. $2 a month. Updated after every show, every single day. All right, just $2 a month. Go over to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the podcast banner. And you can also become a Fadernight. If you want to go to our membership area, you can do that. You can go with free and become a Fadernight for free. You get the bunker cam on Thursday nights. You get a private email to me. You get to call yourself a Fadernight. And then you can go right down the line. If you want commercial-free archives, downloadable, you've got it. You want autographed T-shirts and hats and autographed hats, all the embroidered, real, custom hats, only available to the Fadernights. They're not for sale. They are not. You can't get it. I get the email every single day. Dude, what do I have to do to get a hat? Well, yeah, you got to become a Fadernight. It's the only way that's going to happen. Okay? So you can do all of that in our membership area. Don't forget, everybody, to visit all of our sponsors, Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, Ancient Life Oil, Sacred Skulls, Studio Dome speakers. Everything is over at jimmychurchradio.com. That's how the show happens every single night. Right now, like tonight, the show always broadcasts for free. It is live, like right now. But tonight, we're broadcasting live on YouTube. How does this happen, right? It happens through our sponsors. That's who makes this show run. This is America, right? That's it. This is capitalism at its finest definition. And we'll get to more of that in just a bit. Okay, let's get this show cracking. Got a lot to do tonight. Happy birthday to AC/DC frontman, ex-frontman, Brian Johnson. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? Is 70 years old. Dude. I mean, that's like Mick Jagger old. 70. Brian Johnson, 70 years old. Jesse Eisenberg today is 34. He made the list because of his film American Ultra. He's pretty good, pretty solid actor, but American Ultra was really, really cool. Kate Winslet today is only 42. I thought she was much older than that. I don't know why. Maybe it's her name. She sounds older and dignified, but she's only 42. She's a kid. Neil deGrasse Tyson today is 59. Save the email. I like Neil. I do. I like Neil. Bob Geldof today is 66. Now, how can Brian Johnson be older than Bob Geldof by 4 years? Right? That doesn't even make any sense. All right. Our dead guy's birthday today, the one and only Bernie Mac. Love Bernie. 1957 to 2008. Died at the age of 50, pneumonia. Had a very strange, weird, uncurable, unknown disease. And that's another story there. But he died of pneumonia. And a true original talent, always made me laugh. And he won the 2002 Television Critics Association Award for individual achievement for comedy for his show, The Bernie Mac Show. Love Bernie Mac. Happy birthday, Bernie. I hope you're listening. On this day in history, OTD, it happened. It went down in 1986. The Iran-Contra scandal unravels when Eugene Hasenfuss is captured by troops of the Sandinista regime in Nicaragua after the plane in which he was flying was shot down. He then confessed that he was shipping military supplies into Nicaragua for use by the Contras, an anti-Sandinista force that had been created and funded by the United States. Most dramatically, though, he claimed that the operation was run by the CIA. There you go. Man, that thing blew up, didn't it? Fader fact. In 2015, President Barack Obama made it legal for Americans to own asteroids. Yeah. And mine them. Yes. And keep anything you get when you mine the asteroid out there in space. Now, a couple complications here. First, you got to claim it, which you can do. But then you have to get there with the equipment. And then you get to mine it. Then you got to get back to Earth. But if you pull all of that off, you get to keep what you find. Seriously. It's law. That's right. Tonight's another Fader Night with John Rappaport, and there's no more fake newsroom live. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I'll open up the phone lines in a bit, so just be patient. So today, this is the point where I clear my throat with some River Moon coffee. Truly the best coffee in the world. Fade to Black blend. Because I got to get warmed up. Because today I got an email from someone calling himself Archangel Michael. Yeah, something that you can't make up, but okay, fair enough. Archangel Michael. And it was in response to the video that I posted yesterday on my Facebook page showing the recently released 360-degree spacewalk. Now, this first ever panoramic video shot in space by the crew of the International Space Station. It's a 360-degree video, and it was produced by RT, Russia Today, in collaboration with the Russian Space Agency and their leading spacecraft producer, Energia. Now, the video itself is pretty cool because you can control it. It's got a little button there with 4 arrows on it, so you can control it with that directional button, or you can just grab the video with the mouse and move it up and down sideways and look at the Earth, and it's totally cool. You really enjoy any view in real time. It's bleeping brilliant. The video opens with a cosmonaut saying, he's like, "Are you ready? Over." And, we response, "Yes, we're ready." Right? Over. And you can pan over while this is going down, and you can see the cosmonauts coming out of the space station. There's a couple of them there, and they've got the 360-degree cameras, and they're setting up. There's another camera on. It's just mind-blowingly cool. And as you pan around, you see the cosmonauts coming out. And when you do that, right, you're looking, you can look at this, you do whatever, but below you is the Earth, man. It's just rotating, just coming around nice and slow. It's beautiful, majestic. Man, high def, 360 controllable stuff. It doesn't get any better than that. It is just majestic. Well, we posted up everything on Facebook, and Rita, if you could post the video here in Twitter. Let's get that up for everybody. You might have already done it. It blew past me. But you have to check it out. When I posted it, I made a couple of cracks at the flat earthers around the globe. And although that's a joke right there, you're supposed to laugh. And although I haven't checked, I'm sure that the comments were everywhere about this video being faked. It's being photoshopped. You know, the big flat earth conspiracy. You know the drill. But let me give you a couple of thoughts to ponder. Okay? If Russia is in on it, Russia, the flat earth conspiracy, right? And they put out this video for the world to see and to further the lie that the earth is not round, that it's flat, or that the earth is flat, or that the earth is round and it's not flat, right? Think about this. It's confusing. That means that Russia is colluding with the United States at the highest level. They've put out a video that you can control that shows a round earth, as it should be, right? And you can control it, and it's moving. It's real, right? If they put this video out, that means that the United States and Russia are working together, brother to brother, creating images, videos, propaganda in all forms. A massive undertaking, to be sure, if you think about it, because you would have scientists, politicians, CGI professionals, artists, engineers, news media, everyone, military, universities, everything on both sides. And Russia, the United States, and their counterparts, right, are working together on this. Cooperating, communicating openly, all day, all night, all year, decades long. If you think about it, and if this is true, and there's two ways to look at this. This is the first one. If this is true, then our history, all of it, is fabricated, staged, man-made. Every conflict, every war, everything you see on the news is theatrics. Books, theatrics. Videos like this, theatrics. All of it. Every conflict, every war, everything you see is fake. Which, if you think about it, is entirely possible, by the way. It is. George Orwell, 1984. But is it probable? We'll get back to that thought in just a bit. But RT put this video out, Russia Today. Now, if they are our flat earth conspiracy partner, I'm speaking about RT in Russia, RT specifically, Russia Today, who put out this video, stay with me, is very important. Because the flat earthers want you to believe that. The flat earth theorists, those propaganda experts right now that are cranking out videos and are going to start posting here on Twitter in just a bit, and I'll start getting emails from them again today, every day. They want you to believe that we are working together with everybody. Now, that's what they believe, but why would RT want to be involved in some crazy, complicated flat earth marketing campaign? Why? RT Russia Today, over the last 2 weeks, has been slammed publicly by Washington. Their studios, Russia Today, right now in the United States, and if you don't know this, this is really going on. Russia Today, right now, their studios are all but shut down, virtually kicked out of the United States. This is going down right now. Is that what you do to your partner in crime? The flat earthers want you to believe that us and our media and our military and science and universities are colluding with Russia to crank out these fake videos. Right? So now, why would you do that to your conspiracy pal? Why all of this talk through Congress and Trump and investigations and this and Russia meddling in our Russia, and it all may be true, right? It could be, I don't know. But the point is, they know the truth. If they are conspiring with Russia and every other country in the world on this flat earth theory, why would you treat your conspiracy partner like this? You wouldn't. You don't want your conspiracy partner to get pissed off, would you? And maybe leak the truth, would you? No, of course not. You guys are partners in crime. Or, here's the second choice. That's choice number one. Choice number two, the earth is round and we have the crappiest relationships with every country in the world. That's choice number two. My money is on those. Number two. That's the safe bet right there. And while I firmly believe that the earth is not flat, it's a gorgeous round blueberry. I also want to know why we have a super secret space council with our sworn enemy whose goal is to defy everything that we, you, and the world stand for. At least that's what we're told, right? Continuously, every day. You see, you can't have it both ways. And that's what the flat earther, that's what the flat earth theory, that's what the flat earth propaganda marketing guy wants. They want it both ways, and you can have it. But this conversation isn't about the flat earth. Not exactly. It's about the possibility of an induced reality. If you grow up in Russia, right, and you grew up there during the Cold War, or presently today, your understanding of the American reality is based on what a third party is telling you what it is, that America is evil. Americans are evil. Same thing was going on here in the United States. Still is. Russians, bad. Russia, very bad. The truth is somewhere down the middle. If you are Russian and you travel to the States, you find out that there aren't crackhead gangs running around in any town USA killing old ladies in the streets while listening to Metallica, right? Or that America is heaven on earth, free money raining from the skies and a Cadillac in every driveway. You know, the truth is somewhere down the middle on that one. But it would be the same if you visited Moscow, St. Petersburg. You know, you're going to get there and you're going to find out as an American that it's not the evil gates of hell that we have been told for decades. You might even enjoy your time in Russia. Russians visiting here might even enjoy themselves here in the United States. Have you ever been to France? Have you been to Japan, South Africa, Brazil? Your induced reality will change completely once you visit. Guaranteed, you're going to get there and it's not going to be what you have been told. It's just not whatever it is, right? Think about the propaganda machine in North Korea and what that government has been able to pull off there. Why? Nearly 100% of the country has never left. They've never seen the world as it is. They've never read real books, documentaries. You know, forget the U.S. Can you imagine how their paradigm would shift if a North Korean just walked 30 miles and visited Seoul, South Korea? It's 30 miles away. That is induced reality. And it's the same thing with the flat earth theorist. They want to influence and induce this flat thing. And some people are buying into it. All of it. The conspiracy of it. Why do people believe it? It's simple. Induced reality. Think about this. The theorists spouting the flat earth propaganda know that nearly 100% of everyone, that includes you, will never be able to visit the International Space Station. You'll never be able to go up there. You'll never go into Earth's orbit and take a peek, right? And check things out. They know this. And just like the email I got today from Michelangelo, he'll never make it to Earth's orbit. Was it Michelangelo? That's what happens when you improv. What was his name? Archangel Mike. Induced reality is stuck inside of his head. He can't escape it. For me, I'm going to go with the reality of the U.S. and Russia really don't get along all that well. That's where I'm going. That our two countries, think about this. Our two countries, along with China, Japan, India, the UK, France, Spain, Brazil, Canada, Iran, Israel, Switzerland, Belgium, Italy, South Africa, Malaysia, Sweden, South Korea, Austria, Denmark, Cuba, Vietnam, Hungary, Bulgaria, Poland, and Mexico are not cooperating right now on some crazy flat earth thing. Each country that I just mentioned has had a citizen in space. And every astronaut took a peek. They did. They took a peek at our beautiful, round, blueberry planet we call Earth. And this is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's another Thursday night, Fadernight, with the one and only John Rappaport here with his No More Fake Newsroom live. So I'll be right back. Going to take a quick break and come back with John Rappaport. And then we're going to open up the phone lines. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. This is Fade to Black Fadernight on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. I'll be right back with John Rappaport. Stay right there.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi folks, let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply, and of course the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. No more robots, no more androids. It's the No More Fake newsroom with John Rappaport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Good to be here, folks, on a news-packed week. Las Vegas, the Las Vegas concert shooting. Many things to say about this. Don't hope to cover them all here. But first of all, the comparison of the Las Vegas concert shooting to September 11, 2001. Yes, the scale is not the same, but there are basic similarities in the aftermath. The Patriot Act, do you remember that? The whole idea that we are now going to have to trade a significant portion of our freedom for security. That is being played up and down the scale again now with the concert shooting. Is no public place safe? Is no public venue safe? Is no large gathering of people for any reason safe? So we can look forward to much more surveillance, for example. Certainly covert surveillance, although you would think that they've got that waterfront covered, but there's always more to do, more that can be done. For example, the spread of metal detectors everywhere. The spread of backscatter X-ray machines everywhere. And at schools, in stores, department stores, in malls, in parking lots, public parking lots, etc., etc. You can fill in the blanks. All of that may not be enacted by, a gigantic law like the Patriot Act, but again, trading more freedom for supposed security. Limitations on freedom. So just as many, 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 many people in the wake of 9/11 questioned seriously the official scenario put out by the government as to what happened, who did it, why, and so on. In the same way, we should be considering the official scenario of what happened in Las Vegas to be highly suspect, no matter what it is. You see, I mean, as I said to Jimmy before the show off the air, you just hear about the event that happened in Vegas the night it happened, and before you even know anything more, you say, well, whatever the government is going to claim this was, I don't believe it, because that's the track record. You want to go all the way back to the assassination of Martin Luther King, Robert F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, and examine those events and see what the government official scenario was and how many holes there were? Do you want to go back to the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center and that whole fiasco and see the same thing? Or the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, about which I wrote a book, and see the same thing? The official story is completely discredited. So why wouldn't that be the case now? That's the mindset that I would certainly recommend to anybody as the starting point. Great suspicion, particularly when you know, as I said at the top here, that we're looking at, in the aftermath, further limitations on freedom. So that's where we start. That's where I think everybody should start. And yet there are some people who, once again, they're roped right in. Well, I mean, the newspapers say, and the government says, and so how could it be that you're saying, Well, it's pretty easy, actually. Pretty easy. So let's start here. If we believe the official scenario, there was one shooter, Stephen Paddock. One lone gunman. That's the official scenario. It's been bolstered several times by the Las Vegas police with FBI in the background. We are satisfied there was one shooter, period. And we are satisfied that everything else that you may be hearing on so-called social media, et cetera, these are just rumors, period. End of story. How would they know that so quickly? Actually, now, Las Vegas police is coming out and saying, well, he had to have had help. No kidding. No kidding. And if he had to have help, you can take it a step further and say, let's look into the possibility of multiple shooters above the concert, the country music concert, or at the concert in Las Vegas. Let's look at that. Let's not say they're rumors. For example, some of you may have seen this, but there is posted on YouTube police audio at the time when the shooting begins. And you can hear several different police officers talking about multiple shooters. That's what they're talking about, multiple shooters. Of course, that goes away when the authorities take over the investigation and begin having press conferences. And people say, well, at the beginning there's always a lot of confusion and so on and so forth. Yes, that's true. But nevertheless, when trained police officers, several of them are talking about multiple shooters, that is a cause for concern. That's not something you just throw out and say, well, we're now rejecting that. Based on what? Based on nothing that we know of. How do you eliminate that as a possibility when your own people are saying there are multiple shooters? There is, by now, a fairly famous so-called taxi cab video of a female taxi driver in her cab parked at the Mandalay Bay Hotel where the shooting supposedly occurred around the time of the shooting, either just as it begins or as it picks up again. And this goes on for some minutes. And she's sitting there, and as she's sitting there in her cab and as she pulls away, you can hear multiple times gun bursts. And if you listen carefully, and I've had some communication with a man that I believe to be a reliable arms expert, you hear multiple weapons, not just the same weapon. Do you hear multiple weapons simultaneously? That's harder to say. I'm not sure about that. Some people say yes, some people have doubts. But nevertheless, multiple weapons at least open the door to the possibility of multiple shooters. They open that door. Then there is the very provocative YouTube video of a woman and her husband inside the Bellagio Hotel, a different Vegas hotel, around the time of the shooting. And she has obviously her cell phone, and she is walking around in the lobby of the Bellagio, where there are many people standing and gathering, talking, not doing anything, not walking through the lobby. They're just standing there. And she is saying that shots were fired through the glass of the front door of the Bellagio, that the hotel is now on lockdown, nobody can leave, and you can't go to the casino floor. She is saying that when the shots broke out, her husband and she fell to the floor, and her husband covered her with his body. At one point, it appears that she and her husband are trying to go outside. Either doesn't look like the front door of the hotel. It looks like some kind of large, maybe outdoor balcony or patio or something, courtyard. And the audio is muffled, but there appears to be a security guard or some kind of law enforcement person who is turning them back. We don't hear what he says, but she, with the video, is saying, "Oh, we can't go out there? Okay, thank you very much," and they go back in. What are we to make of this? This would not just be multiple shooters at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. This would be multiple events of shooting around the same time. No coverage by the press, apparently. I posted this video yesterday at No More Fake News, and I was told soon after that it was taken down from YouTube. Taken down. On what grounds? I don't know. Fake news? They decided, somebody at YouTube decided it was fake news? I mean, yes, anything is possible. You could say, well, any video is fake if you want to just say it's fake, or that it's telling a fake story. But there she is for 6 minutes or so with her husband walking around the lobby of the Bellagio. We found another link and reposted it. That's another very provocative thing. Now, we are also faced with the incredible story of Stephen Paddock. There are many aspects that are rather incredible, but I'll focus on the Mandalay Hotel itself. This is not a guy who, as his brother first said, just likes to eat burritos and has no experience whatsoever or interest in guns and so forth. As it turns out, according to press reports now, this is a millionaire real estate investor, Stephen Paddock. Can do anything he wants with his life. He's a well-known gambler in Las Vegas. And when you're a well-known gambler, that means you're gambling for lots of money. And again, according to press reports, he was. That means that when he walks into a casino, hotel casino, he is known. His room or his suite may be comped. People there have a very deferential attitude toward him. They know him. They recognize him. And here he is, somehow getting 23 weapons up to his suite on the 32nd floor. A 64-year-old man. And ammo, lots and lots of ammo. How did this happen? Are we supposed to believe this is really what happened? I mean, in a hotel casino, if there's a guy playing blackjack and he is card counting, this is not sleight of hand. It means he's got a sharp mind. He can see what cards have been played. He can run through formula, algorithms in his mind and decide what he should be betting on as he sees what cards have been played. Such a guy can be spotted by a pit boss or from the eye in the sky. That's how close a watch people in casinos have on clients and customers. So we're supposed to believe that although they can do that, they just wouldn't be able to notice that one of the high rollers who comes into the casino is, I don't know what, lugging many suitcases up to his room. What happens when the maid shows up in the room, or does he keep a sign on the door for 3 or 4 days? I am told that in some occasions, hotel personnel, this would be in general in Vegas, visit people's rooms when they're not there as a kind of a spot check, because there are millions of dollars there in the casino, in the counting room, and millions of dollars being played with and for on the casino floor. Security is a major, major concern in these places. But yet, hey, nobody noticed anything, nothing happened. It all went down like that. And why would a man like this take 23 weapons up to his hotel suite? Why should we believe that? He certainly wasn't going to use all of them, so what were they for? Why would he take the risk of being noticed doing something unusual when he wasn't going to use or didn't need the weapons at all? That's a boggler. We're told that he planned this scenario for many months, and he led a secret life for years. Now, we do know that he was taking Valium, and it's true that in some people that causes aggression. But we are not just talking about a snap judgment that pushes somebody over the edge. This is a long-range plan that he had. And he had to know that this plan was most likely going to end in his death. I don't care if he had an escape plan, as one story is reporting now. If you're going to do what he purportedly did in the way of shooting, you're going to end up dead. Or if you do manage somehow to escape, which apparently was not really on his mind at the end, you're going to be hunted down forever when they discover who you were. That is the life that a retired millionaire wants to live. And if so, why? Now, some publication of ISIS has claimed that he converted to Islam and that he was an ISIS soldier. This is a recent release from an ISIS publication. Maybe. It's hard to accept that on face value, to say, okay, well, they said it must be true. Are they just simply trying to take credit for something they had nothing to do with? That's the motive that they are ascribing for this horrendous act. But meanwhile, back here, the whys, why keep piling up. Was this some incredibly elaborate plan by a retired millionaire to end up in, quote, suicide by cop? That's a tough one to swallow, too. So therefore, the entire scenario that we are being fed about the room, the suite, the 23 weapons, the little video cameras that he had installed, the 2 broken out windows, possibly using multiple weapons, and so on and so forth. All of this comes under suspicion. I mean, all of it. Was he really the shooter? Or was he a patsy who was somehow recruited and set up? Who may have fired some shots, may not have fired some shots. That comes under suspicion as well. Because once you begin to go down the rabbit hole on this, and you begin to see, well, look, if there's multiple shooters, for example, then we're talking about a plan that involves more than one deranged individual. Now we're talking about serious conscious intent and purpose for a cause, for an outcome, for consequences to develop from the event. So much to cover here, not enough time, but we do have at least one witness, maybe more, who is talking about seeing a shooter or shooters on the ground at the concert, who was mowing down people. What are we to make of that? Well, the Las Vegas police makes nothing of it, and neither apparently does the FBI. They are just simply discounting all of this. But multiple shooters, again, and you see my suggestions here of that possibility, implies way more than crazy man does insane, horrible thing. And the door must be left open on the possibility of multiple shooters. Must be, for any independent researcher. So, these are some of the factors that are happening now. And I could go into a recitation of the complexity of the conspiracy and operation in the assassinations of Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King, JFK, Oklahoma City bombing, just to show how devious and multi-layered these plans can be, where what you automatically assume as reality turns out not to be reality at all. But I don't have time for that tonight. But suffice to say, everything here is up for grabs. The suite at the Mandalay Bay could have been staged as a prop. The weapons laid out there after the fact. Oh, you see, look at what happens when we let people have weapons indiscriminately. Now, finally, once and for all, we have to stop that. Do not accept at face value any part of the official scenario if you are at all interested in understanding what this story could really be, or if you happen to be a researcher looking into it. Do not accept anything at face value. Okay, that's my report for tonight. Thank you very much.
John, well done. I just wanted to ask you before I let you go. What do you make of the leaked photographs? What do you think the real story is there? I think anything like that was leaked.
As we discussed before, I think that these were intentionally put out there.
Right.
To show, okay, it's like, a teaser, a trailer for a movie, preview of coming attractions, kind of, look at all of this. And then, after they leak the photos, then they say, who leaked these photos? We're going to find out, and this is a horrible thing, and so on and so forth.
Right.
That's my take on that.
Because they were perfect, right?
Sure, yeah.
Perfect, high def, in focus, real. And then at the press conference, I couldn't believe it. To have I assume he was the chief of police. I saw some stars on his shoulders, but he goes, oh, and concerning the leaked photographs today, they were real. They were genuine. I was like, wow, what kind of,
right. What? Just want to make sure that you folks know that this heinous act of leaking confidential photos showed exactly the real thing. You got it?
Yep. Yeah,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Exactly. It could have just said, we're investigating the leaked photographs today and let that go, right?
And here's another thing about the photographs. If this guy actually, Paddock, shot off all these incredible number of rounds from an automatic weapon or more than one, where is all the brass?
There would be shell casings ankle deep.
Everywhere, and hot casings burning holes in carpets.
Yes.
Who knows where? Where are those photographs?
Yep.
We see nothing.
Yep. I thought the same thing. I was looking for shell casings. They should have been bouncing off of every piece of furniture, right? I mean,
exactly.
Look, I'm not some firearms expert, okay? I am not. I can't claim that. But I have shot a few weapons, and I know what a hot shell casing does and what it feels like. And they would have been melted into the carpet, right? I don't know. That was just very suspicious to me to have those leaks. And the other thing is, if they were, let's suppose for a second, we've got 1 minute. Let's suppose that they were actually leaked, and we buy that part of the story. Then they know everybody that was in that room. They know every agent, every officer, ATF, FBI, Las Vegas police. They know who was in that room, and therefore they know exactly who was taking pictures and who leaked the photographs. Right? There isn't any question about this. There isn't a reason to mention it in the press conference.
Exactly.
It's kind of weird. The whole thing. And one last. I want your comment on this. The guy, no contact with the police, squeaky clean, gambler, whatever, but no affiliations anywhere, not posting anything on social media, is making this big, bold statement, and it's going to be a martyr, I guess. I don't know. But, allegedly kills 59 people, but he doesn't fit any profile anywhere, and he's not leaving his mark, his legacy out there, right? He just shot himself, and then it's just over. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, 0 sense. This is, if you presented a script like this for a movie, somebody would say, well, we got to find out, who this guy is and why he did this, right? It's nowhere in the script. I mean, how can you write a script like that?
Right. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. And I don't know how this is the thing, and I want to thank you in advance, but we have had practice with 9/11 on how to tear things apart now, and as the public, and that's exactly what's going to happen with this case. This is not going to just get brushed and swept underneath the carpet.
You bet.
Thank you so much, John. We'll see you next Thursday right here.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Everybody, start your day at nomorefakenews.com. Okay, that's it. I'll be back. Going to take a break. and open up the phone lines 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Get ready, get in line. Your phone calls are next. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly Ancient Life Oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go back, Lee Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product. What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go back, Lee Tappy.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Simple enough, at JChurchRadio. Use hashtag F2B for the sandbox. Email is Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. The phone lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. 95. Open lines all night long. We've got lots to talk about tonight. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Steve.
Hey, Steve. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bassett, Virginia, actually. But I used to live in Vegas 18 years, military.
Right.
And a couple of days ago, just doing a little praying, pondering, what's going on with the nation. And I got a little function. Look up the name paddock, as defined by Webster. That name what it means is a pen to keep animals in. The example it gives is to herd the sheep into the paddock, which kind of blew my mind, because when you look at an aerial view, what you see across from the killing field, i.e. the paddock, is an obelisk dedicated to the god of the underworld, which is backed by a sphinx and a pyramid, yada, yada, yada. But what really got me was Mandalay Bay. Now that is in the shape of a broken cross. So if you put it all together, you have a guy named Paddock at the foot of a broken cross killing the sheep in the paddock for, Osiris? Right?
Yeah.
The god of the underworld?
Well, no, I don't know if
and that,
okay. I understand the symbology there, and I did see Steve the post that were going around about his the definition for his last name. All of it intriguing and interesting, and the Fadernight.
Well, the reason I called in for that was because it's a conspiracy show. You want to step out and get a little bit different, and
right.
Right. But here's the other thing: being there for 18 years, I had family members, friends, all with gambling problems. Now, here's the problem with a gambler: if they got $5 in their pocket, that's the $5 they need. This guy has $100,000. He's a gambler. He's an addict. That's what they keep pushing. He's got $100,000 worth of equipment in his room, and he doesn't think to pawn something off so he can have one more pull at that machine? No, he sends $100,000 overseas? No, that doesn't fit either.
No.
And I watched the video.
Yes.
I watched the video of him entering the room.
Yep.
And he didn't seem like a kook. He didn't say, "Oh, this is where it's all going to take place." He didn't say, "There's the killing field." He just showing there's the big screen. He was doing what probably you and I would do if we went into the room. And I'd like to say, everybody's calling in. So much stinks about this stuff. But here's my theory. And the guy I would look at would be the police officer that's being hailed right now as a hero. And I say this because you got a billy club. You're not armed. You're going down the hallway to a room. You don't know if there's 15 guys in there or what. And you're going to stand in front of the doorway? No, you're going to get on the radio, tell everybody in the hotel, the security staff, "Hey, this is the room. I need help." No, this guy goes up to the door. I don't know how many shots were fired, and he gets shot in the leg. Now, think about this. How about he was the one in the room with the guy, just theorizing.
Mm-hmm.
He takes the guy out, does the shooting, pops a cap in his leg, and plays Ocean's 14 and waits for a gurney, a warm blankie, and a little cup of water to get out into an ambulance, probably never to be seen again.
You know what's?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And you spent and thank you for the phone call, Steve. You spent 18 years in Vegas, and I've been to Vegas 100 times, if not more. A lot. I've been to Vegas a lot. I went there every single week, every other week for 7 years. So do the math. Now,
right.
The interesting thing for me, if I strip everything else away, everything out of the picture, except for one thing, Vegas and security. From the moment that you pull up, you don't carry your bags. You've got a valet that swarms you.
Absolutely.
Right?
And especially if you're a high roller.
Yeah, let me finish though, Steve, and then I'll let you comment really quick. But from that moment, you are catered to, right? They grab your bags, everything goes on the cart, everything goes in. You don't touch your stuff, it goes up to your room. You're not carrying bags. Now,
that's right.
Somehow, and we have not only the 23 weapons, right? Assault rifles, But you have all that ammunition. You have the tripods, the sights, whatever else that he was, taking up there with him, the video equipment and computers, all of that stuff had to have been carried by an employee of Mandalay Bay. Not one person ever suspected the weight and the amount of bags. What does a guy need to have? And I'm just picturing here. Okay, let's say it's 2 rifles per bag. So dude's showing up for a weekend of gambling with 15, 20 bags that are heavy, that are clanking. Nobody says anything. There's that point. But also the video surveillance of those bags getting taken out of his car, put on a cart, and, I can see the valet dudes going, dude, I hope they tip me because this crap is heavy, and he's got a lot of it. That's what's going through their minds. So where is all of this? Forget about everything else. Forget about the broken windows. Forget about forget about all of that. Just the basics of the basics. I know. When I check into Vegas, I got one bag. I'm there for 3 days, right? I got one bag. I've just flown in or whatever. But you don't show up for 3 days in Vegas with 20 bags of luggage, and nobody suspected anything. And then there's one last point, and I've been driving this home. Housekeeping. What they didn't see, nobody saw. You go into his room to make his bed, and he managed to stash 23 weapons, thousands of rounds of ammunition, and everything else that goes along with that. Right, all the paraphernalia, all of it is out of sight. All of it. Nobody saw anything. Nobody commented anything. It just smells funky to me, and it's going to continue to smell funky, Steve, until we start to get some answers, which I can promise you we will not.
That is exactly right. We're not going to see the video because the video is going to tell everything. They're going to have some sort of a problem. The tape is grainy. We lost it. Whatever. Every square inch of that casino is filmed.
Everyone.
And so they've got. I can't wait for their answer on why they can't show the video.
Yeah.
But the maids, they're trained for drugs, for anything that's out of the ordinary, to report it to security. If you put a "Do Not Disturb" sign on your room for multiple days, you're raising suspicion, especially after 3 days.
Yeah,
because they need to go in there and see if there's a dead body.
That's right. All of these things come into play. And if everything is on the up and up, they leak these photographs of the inside of the room. And we all know that was intentional. That wasn't some accident. And if it was actually leaked, that agent, who they know who it is, would already be on television. That we fired that guy or that girl, right, for breaking protocol. No word on anything on that. Listen, man, I got a million calls lined up here. Thank you so much, Steve. And you know exactly what's going on. I really appreciate the phone call. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Have a great night. All right, let's keep it going. And I have to do a couple of clicks. You guys, this is nuts. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy Church.
Hi, what's your name? Are you there? Okay. Very strange. It was there for a second, so let's just go next in order. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Ryan.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind tonight?
Okay, Jimmy, I know we're talking about Vegas now, but is it okay if I switch directions a little bit here? I just wanted to talk about ECETI and some of the stuff that was going down there.
Yeah, sure. Is this Ryan Wenner?
Okay. I'm sorry, what's that?
What's your last name?
Griffin. I'm not the guy who took the video.
Wouldn't that be funny, right?
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what's on your mind?
So, what's on my mind is your experience you had in that circle, and I know you don't want to talk about the details of it, but do you understand what happened with the pineal gland and how it dumped metabolites for you, and you went into a different dimension?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Because I've been doing a lot of studying with some people on that, and like Whitley was talking about the other night, there really are travelers that you can go out and you can do some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Ryan. And you should go and check out some of our past shows, like with Jason Quitt. He's a really, really, really great researcher that has that ability. He can go forward and back in time and has. And so you should go, and his website is a really good resource too for that, and his books. But we talk about that all the time on the show. I think it's one of the most fascinating parts of our little supernatural community is that part of reality. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's great. I'm just now getting into that part. So I actually am a regular listener of your show, and I've heard Jason Quitt a lot. It's exciting for me to see that you finally got initiated into this mystical experience, because it's truly life-changing. Like, you do not look at the world the same way ever again.
No, you do not, man. You do not. Yeah. Hey, Ryan, seriously, man, thank you. First-time caller, and welcome to the family.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jimmy. I appreciate it, and I'll look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely, man. The ability to travel is one of the coolest. I mean, it's just the ability to do that. Oh, man. Thursday night, Fadernight, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Paul from South Carolina.
Hey, Paul from South Carolina. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's Thursday night, man. Fader night, best night of the week.
Absolutely. I just wanted to get kind of back on the subject of the shooting. Today, while I was at work, I noticed on CNN that Republican congressmen were considering making it harder to get a bump stock.
Right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the weapons that he was using was completely automatic and did not have bump stocks on them.
I see. This is the thing. I had never even heard of a bump stock until this, right? Now, I don't know what to trust in the reporting, and you shouldn't either, right? We just don't know. But now they're talking about the weapons that he did shoot were a bump stock. Now, this is what, just so everybody understands what a bump stock is. A bump stock, which is sold, it's not illegal. It doesn't automate a weapon. What it does is the stock that is pressed against your body, every time you pull the trigger, it resets into your hand to allow you to constantly keep your finger on the trigger, and the bump stock will shake your arm enough to release the trigger, and you just keep your finger tight on it. Now, what's crazy is in the video, when you hear the audio, that thing is just going, right? I mean, that is some rapid fire, machine gun fire. And is that is that what a bump stock has the ability to do? I don't know. I've never even heard of a bump stock, but wow, crazy if that is the case.
I've shot several rifles with bump stocks on them, and there's no way possible that you can shoot in a semi-automatic with a bump stock that quick.
That quick. Again, I don't know. I don't know. You have that experience. I don't. But that is a frightening. You're saying it's not, right? There's just no way that peeling off. What was he doing? He's doing probably 100 rounds a minute or something, some crazy, probably more than that, shooting in, minutes at a time. Have you heard, I've been trying to get this information. I've gotten nothing concrete. How many rounds do you think were shot in those 10, 15 minutes from what you heard?
Thousands.
Right. Yes. That's what it seemed like to me.
At least 1,000. I mean, the only time he stopped was to reload or switch guns.
Right. I just like John said in his report in the opening of the show, it seems like that room would be covered in rounds of ammunition, right? Burned into the floor.
There's no way that he was leaning that far out of the window to get all the shells
out of the
fall
window.
out the window.
Right. Yeah, I tried to picture the same thing. He wouldn't be leaning out the window. He would probably be just inside of the window so nobody would know where he was at so they could shoot at him. That's what I would think.
Exactly.
He would give his location away. So therefore, those empty shell casings should be inside that room. Lots of them. And I didn't see any of them. It would a expended shell casing, right as it comes out, is it hot enough to maybe melt into the carpet?
I wouldn't say it would melt into the carpet. It would, probably sear it a little bit, depending on, the carpet type. But I just, again, I go back to the bump stock thing. I think it's just a ploy to slowly take away things, and before you know it, it's like where's it gone? I don't have any rights anymore.
Right. Well, they do this. There's no question that this conversation happens nationwide after some tragedy like this. And I understand, man, if you are somebody that enjoys hunting or you have a gun collection, which is your right as an American citizen to do, and then this conversation starts, one has to wonder if that's exactly the agenda that is going on here. The Constitution, what this country was based on, the guns aren't going anywhere. They're just not. So that's the end of that. It'll eventually die, well, like it always does. The old conversation, right? Guns don't kill people. People kill people. There's more guns, and I read a fact the other day, and listen, I forget what country it was, but I think it was like Iceland or Greenland or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Where they have more guns in that country than we do in the United States. Some crazy. Well, I don't know if that's what I'm paraphrasing here, but 10 guns per citizen, right? Just some crazy, and 0 shootings, right? So you kind of look at Canada. I mean, everybody in Canada is armed. They're armed to the teeth up there. And how many murders in Canada last year? There's more murders probably in Los Angeles County in 1 week than all of Canada in 1 year. And I'm not for sure on that, but I bet you it's pretty close to being a fact.
That's interesting. I didn't know.
I don't know either. I'm just guessing here, but I feel like I'm right. Thanks for the phone call. This bump stock thing is a very interesting one. I don't know what to make of that. You guys are posting videos of bump stocks here. We'll maybe get to some of that. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Debbie from Sacramento.
Debbie from Sacramento. Hi, Debbie. How are you tonight?
Hi, doing good. How are you, Jimmy Church?
It's Thursday night, Deb. You know what it is. It's
a great night.
It's a great night. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to make, to emphasize your point on casino security. Yesterday, my friend from San Jose was here, and we went up to a local Indian casino here,
right,
which we frequent from time to time, and he likes to spend a lot of money. He's not a millionaire like this guy was, but he does spend a lot of money. And we literally were sitting down at the first slot machine for less than 2 minutes, and here's the host on him. Hey, how have you been, Mr. Keeley? Because he put his member's card in there. So they knew immediately we were in the building. Oh, we've missed you being here. You haven't been here in a while. Giving us offers, comping our buffet, the whole bit. So, and that's just a local little Indian casino. So can you imagine, Mandalay Bay and this guy, and of course they were tracking his every move. Why wouldn't they? That's a huge money source for them. So that was one point that what you were talking about, the whole security thing, I totally agree on. And the other thing I didn't realize is when John Rappaport was talking about that video that was posted at the Bellagio that was pulled down.
Right.
I was thinking about a couple of videos that I had seen online where supposedly people got, footage filmed of someone shooting from the 4th floor of the Mandalay Bay. And there were 2 different videos, one from a line of sight up top of someone's room, and then another one that looked like it was filmed down on the street, and that might have been that cab driver video. I don't know. But is it possible, and I didn't think about this until I heard what he said, maybe they pulled that video down of the Bellagio because they were staging a problem outside to keep the people in the lobby so they wouldn't witness what was happening across the street at Mandalay Bay and maybe where the gunfire was coming from. Just a thought.
Yeah, and we posted that video, and I looked at it so many times. It's a compelling and interesting video for a couple of reasons. One, it clearly shows flashing that was in sync. It was off just a little bit because of the distance from Mandalay Bay. You have a time delay in sound, but the flashes were in sync with the machine gun fire. So that's interesting. But what I couldn't make out in that video, this is where I start to question things. Not that the video wasn't real or that somebody doctored it. I'm not suggesting that. I think that the video posted was, just an actual video. But the window wasn't broken out. It didn't look to me like there was an opening for somebody to be shooting out of the window. I couldn't make that out, and I blew it up. I have very big monitors here in the bunker, and I couldn't make it out, and I slowed it down. The flashes are real. I mean, that's happening. So what I was thinking, and I haven't heard anybody comment about this, but is it possible that a TV was on in that room, and that's the flashes that you see of the video, possibly of a live Las Vegas TV news channel, maybe that was broadcasting live, and somebody had the TV on that channel, and that was the flashes that you were seeing. I'm guessing here. I don't know. Could it have been some kind of weird strobe light in somebody's room and they're in there partying? Right? It could be that, and it just happened to be flashing with the machine gun. I don't know, but it was from the fourth floor. I could not maybe fifth or sixth floor, but nonetheless, I couldn't see a broken window there. That's the part that I couldn't see, or anything flashing across like bullets flying through the air at night. You would think that maybe one or two would flash through and get caught. Not everything, but some of it. So now going back, and I want to thank you, Deb, for the phone call. Great questions. Going back to the cab driver video, I listened to that in stereo. Now, when you listen to it like with the equipment that I have here, which is, I've got the full-blown gnarly setup here, it sounded like to me that the sources of the sounds were coming from two different directions. That's what I was hearing. I don't know if cell phones, and I meant to go back and do this. Maybe somebody out there, one of the Fadernauts, can post up in Twitter or in one of the chat rooms to answer this question. Do cell phones record in stereo? Are there two microphones? Is it recording in stereo? Okay, I know the older ones, were all mono, but like an iPhone or a Galaxy S7 or S8, can they record in stereo? Now, if they do record in stereo, that's interesting because the sounds sound like they're coming from two different directions. And the second point is it possible that is an illusion? Right, that the sound is bouncing off of everything and coming off of reflections and where her car was sitting, her taxi, that it just sounded like it was, changing the sources and it was coming from two different shooters. I don't know. But Deb, all of these are great questions, and I got to say, I've got to take a break right here. You took me right to the bottom of the hour. But thank you for the phone call, and if you get any information, let us know. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. Take care.
You too. That's what I'm talking about right there. Thursday night, Fadernight, best night of the week. Okay, let me take a break right here, and I'll be right back. It's open lines all night long, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to all of your phone calls next. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
Hi, I'm Matt Ray for U.S. Gold Bureau. I cover the market daily. No matter how strong it gets or what long-term predictions say, you can count on one thing as certain. There will be another crash. It will affect your assets. And when it happens, wouldn't you rather be 2 weeks or even 2 months ahead of the curve? Well, Wall Street insiders have been quietly converting their assets into gold for the last few years. Now it's your turn. Buying gold and silver is easier than buying stocks. With the U.S. Gold Bureau's Investor Guide, it's free, and you learn how to buy precious metals in or out of an IRA or 401k retirement plan. Your investment's shipped directly to your home and is 100% insured and guaranteed. You control your investments and shelter them against the stock market, politics, and unknown threats. Act while your dollar is still worth something. Call U.S. Gold Bureau, 800-885-GOLD. U.S. Gold Bureau, 800-885-GOLD, 800-885-GOLD. Call today.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Life Change Tea. GetTheTea.com. Just use the promo code FADER, F-A-D-E-R, when you order. You're going to get yourself some free shipping. Just go click on the banners over at jimmychurchradio.com for Life Change Tea. All right, it's open lines. Let's keep it going. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Les from Texas again.
Hey, Les from Texas again. How are you?
Good. Let me throw some gun statistics at you for a second.
Well, you live in Texas.
France,
you live in Texas. You've got gun stats.
yeah, but France has the most restrictive gun laws on the planet, basically, and they have 1,800 gun deaths per year, but 65 million people live there. United States has 300 million people, and they have 33,000 gun deaths per year. Now, that sounds really bad, but when you do the per capita math, France's per capita death rate is 2.8. United States is 0.001. Now, doctors kill almost 3 times more people with mistakes than there are gun deaths in the United States. But if you wanted to whipsaw the minds of a voter constituency that is pro-gun, who would you massacre? Country music fans, wouldn't you? This whole thing is fishier than the flat earth.
Well, yes, I agree with that. I don't want to, my brain during a live radio broadcast, I've got excuses there, right? I don't, my brain doesn't work right. But your math on that, 1,800 gun deaths in France, 65 million people, right? Okay,
right.
So
you divide
well, no, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to follow you here. Here in the United States, 300 million people, 35,000 deaths. So in France, if you multiplied that by 5 to get to 300 million, and you multiplied the 1,800 by 5 to keep the ratio the same, then you're at less than 10,000. And the United States is at 35,000. No, France is still way behind the United States. That's
what I thought. But when I Google up, how do you measure per capita statistics, you would divide the amount of deaths by the population.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if it's times 5, so that's 9,000. For France, if the ratio was the same at 300 million, United States at 300 million, and it's 35,000, then it's 3 times as less. I would think, again, look, man, I have no PhD. Okay, so
yeah, you would think so, but run your calculator and just divide 1,800 by 65 million, and then divide 35,000, or I did 33,000, the stat I pulled, by 300 million. And when you do that, U.S. comes out less. But let's throw all that stuff away.
Okay.
Over 100,000 people are killed by physicians' medical mistakes per year. So, what I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is, like I said, if you wanted to whipsaw the minds of a voter constituency who are pro-Second Amendment, that's one of the biggest out there, country western fans.
That was so obvious to me, right? I mean, and it's a harsh way of looking at it, right? But if you're going to go at a constituency, go there. And man, let's just hope that's not the case, right? Because that goes into a dark zone. And this case is already, it's a tragedy, number one, but it's already just funky.
Dark.
It's just funky.
It's dark, funky.
Yeah, it is. Les, thank you for that. And you watch Twitter after your phone call tonight. Go watch Twitter. Somebody's going to get those gun stats up for us. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
good.
Les.
Thanks.
Have a great night. Another great phone call. Let's keep it going. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Cindy. How are you?
Hi, Cindy. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Go back, Lee Tappy.
Absolutely.
This is just the craziest stuff going on the last few days. I've been watching some of the videos about the brother of the guy, the shooter in L.A.? Have you seen any? I'm sure you have.
Yes, I have.
Seen some of the interviews. The one thing that really struck out for me was when he said something about there is absolutely nothing that would point us in the direction of him doing something like this. And if he could do this, then we're all in trouble. And I went, oh. And it reminded me a little bit of what you said last week about Mr. Ted, the Unabomber.
Right.
Which I had never heard before you said this last week, being part of MK Ultra.
And you went and read about it and found out that it actually was true, and you went, holy crap.
Well, holy crap.
I know,
this
right?
This guy who lives out in the middle of nowhere, nobody's bothering him anymore, blah, 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 goes out and does this kind of stuff.
Right.
Didn't make any sense back then, and this today isn't making any sense now. And with all the stuff you're talking about, too, because I've never been to Vegas, but just hearing about what you've had to say and all the security and the stuff I've heard before, none of it's adding up.
And go
it
ahead,
could be
Deb.
something like that.
Right. And see, I'm really surprised and a little disappointed in our conspiracy circles, to be honest with you. I'm a little disappointed in some of those great minds
I've heard of you, yes, I understand.
That nobody has brought up the possibility of MK Ultra here. The guy is 63 years old, right? So that puts him smack dab.
And he was brought up in a family where the dad left the mom. He was an awful father, blah, 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 blah.
Bank robber.
To the brother.
Right.
Okay, and they were bad kids on the street, sort of, which is what MK Ultra goes for.
I don't know why that this hasn't been. You're right about this too.
Well, here you go. We're part of the conspiracy circle. Here you go.
I know, Deb. Thank you for the phone call, by the way, and thank you for raising this point. Hopefully, enough people are going to listen to this and then go and start to look into that aspect.
And too, all those freaking guns—that's a bleeping big load of guns to bring in there. And I right now living with it. I'm Cindy from North Carolina, but I'm in Atlanta now. Moved in with my buddy who is a gun enthusiast, one of the nicest people, and I would trust him. I could trust him as far as I could throw him, was not far, and but I know what 23 guns rifles looks like.
Yep.
There's a pile of them in the other room.
Right.
You can't not see this. You cannot carry this. It's there's no way those things got into that hotel without somebody knowing about it.
This is the other point, though, Cindy. Yes, exactly. But you need the other part of those guns. It's called the ammunition. Right? And you know what a simple box of ammo, right? Just a little tiny box of ammo. He had probably 500 of those. But wait a minute here. Stop for a second. How is that possible? You cannot sneak a puppy dog into a casino. You can't do it. Let alone 23 guns and a ton of ammo. I have no idea what it would weigh. I don't know. But it
just reeks. It reeks. And like a good friend of ours on Spreaker has been saying, what's the guy's name? Oswald, Steve Oswald.
I don't know who he is, but was it you that posted?
Steve Oswald. Hello.
Oh, Steve Oswald. Steve. Oh, funny, but bump. Was it you that just said bump stocks, popular items these days? Was that you? Was that you?
No.
Oh, okay, that's another Cindy in the chat.
No, that wasn't me. That was the other Cindy.
Have a great night, Cindy. Thank you so much for the phone call.
All right, Jimmy. Bye.
Fantastic phone call right there. She's got a stockpile of weapons in the next room. She knows what 23 of them look like. And that's what I need, right? I need that kind of phone calls here. What is actually going on? Stay on the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Travis from Texas.
Hey, Travis from Texas. You going to give us some gun stats?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, as far as breaking down all the guns and carrying them in the hotel, that really wouldn't be that hard. I mean, I could probably take all the guns that he had in the hotel room and put them in one big suitcase and carry it in.
I thought about that too. And of course, absolutely. But how much would that suitcase weigh? How much would 23 weapons weigh?
It would weigh a lot. You know, the guns weigh anywhere between 7 and 10 pounds, you know, the ARs and the AR-10s. And it would weigh a lot. You know, that's just an example.
Now,
how much actual space it takes.
Right. So I just did some quick math, right? Let's say 23 weapons, 10 pounds each, average. That's 230 pounds. Now, 230 pounds. You're not picking up that suitcase. Nobody is, right? Now, okay, so that's obviously a bunch of different suitcases. And I'm with you. They had to have been broken down. You're not sneaking in guns. You know, you're sneaking in gun parts and you're putting them together. Totally understand that. But what about the ammo? You know, a couple. Ammo, how much does a few thousand rounds of I don't know, machine gun ammo? How much does a few thousand rounds of ammo weigh? A few thousand rounds.
It would weigh probably 30 pounds. You know, a couple thousand rounds is 30 pounds. You can put 1,000 rounds of .223. You know, in one of those 50 caliber ammo cans, you know, but over 4 days, this guy's stay, you know, all you would have to do is to either carry one suitcase in a day, you know, or put it on the cart and have the valet take it up to the room. It's real easy to get that much stuff in the hotel room. It's not that hard.
I totally agree with that. 100%, of course. And if he did it by himself and didn't have help, it would have had to have gone down that way, right? But are you trying? This is where I have Travis, have you ever been to Las Vegas?
No, sir.
Okay, let me tell you something. Those valet guys, when you pull up at any one of those casinos, any one of those main hotels on the Strip, the first thing you notice first off, you got 8 lines of cars. Right, 8 lines. You're pulling up, and there's 8 cars wide, and it's a waiting line to pull in. You pull up, the valet comes out with his cart. He comes up, he tags your car. He's tagging you're not carrying luggage into the hotel. Nobody does. Nobody. Now, if you're going to do that over and over and over again on videotape, I'm telling you. They know what your car is, the license plate. They know where it's parked. They know what it is. And the first thing they're going to go, dude, man, that guy over the last 24 hours, out of the last 48 hours, man, took 40 bags into his room. Right? I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
It would have had to been done at one time, you know, through the valet. And I was also shocked yesterday when they came out and said that none of the cameras that he used to film this thing, you know, we heard that the day before, none of them worked. Now, don't you think that's kind of odd?
No, of course they worked, because allegedly, right, if we take things at face value, the security guard approached the door, he gets shot in the leg. Why? He was watching him from inside the room on his surveillance cameras. So they were working. Again, you don't know what to believe. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to listen to all of this stuff and what they're trying to tell us and what we know actually happened. None of this is adding up. There's one other thing. Now, you just said 223, so you know your ammo, right? Sounds to me like you know your assault rifles, and that's fine. I need this. He was over 1,000 feet away, 300, up and above and across the street. Is that really is there that kind of force and range and accuracy to do that? It seems to me, now I could be wrong here, but I'm just picturing it in my mind's eye, that you would almost have to shoot the bullets probably high because they would drop into the crowd, right? They wouldn't shoot straight.
The effective range of the .223 is around 600 yards. 650 yards. And if I decide to sight one of my weapons in at 600 yards, then I just dope the scope. Is what they call it. I just make adjustments to where my crosshairs are sitting at 600 yards.
Right.
All that could have been done before he showed up. You can't fire a bump fire stock, the first time you try it. That takes hundreds of rounds of practice to be consistent with it and to be effective. It's not the stock. The bump fire is a technique. The stock just facilitates and helps you do the technique. But the bump fire is a technique that's been used for years.
Did the sound of the shots in the videos that you've seen, we've all seen them, does that sound to you like a bump fire?
Yes, because it was erratic. Now regular machine gun, the timing on it is going to be consistent. The time between the rounds until the gas tube starts filling up with carbon.
Right.
And then you adjust the timing on the front of the machine gun to pick the rate of fire back up. Now, the rate of fire that I heard on camera, it was pretty consistent, for the first 19, 20 rounds, and then it become erratic, and then it would kind of pick back up. That is classic, somebody that's not completely familiar or doesn't have enough practice with the bump fire stock.
So, to me, now I'm not some trained guy, right? I'm not some SWAT team special ops dude. Right? I'm not making those claims, but I do have a good set of ears, and that was pretty rowdy, consistent shooting. It was just, it just seemed like it was long and never ending. And when I looked at the clips that were in the shots of his hotel room, those are your typical extended, banana clips. Wouldn't you have to have one of those big, heavy 100 round mag, those tubs, those big things? Wouldn't you have to have that? Or belt fed or something?
Drums,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Travis?
Right, you need the drums. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you dropped out. Is it possible to have something belt fed? I don't know.
No, there's no way it was belt fed. The 100 round he had, a couple of the magazines, they hold 80 to 100 rounds. Even the straight ones, they're straight, and then they had like small slants on the side that hold an extra, 20 or 30 rounds, along with the center, line. So, maybe 80 rounds, is kind of all I heard. Then there was a pause and a reload.
Right.
And you have to be familiar with the sounds. You had the sound of the gun firing, you had the sound of the guns hitting flesh, and then the sounds of the, hitting concrete and hitting structure. You got three different sounds, and the gunshot is the last sound you hear. You're going to hear, so once you work that out and kind of get the cadence down and the timing of the fire, it was one gun at a time, I think, and it was 223, maybe some 308, rounds and bump fire stocks. No belt fed. I haven't even seen a tripod yet. I've heard the word tripod 300 times in the past week, and I have yet to see one tripod. There's bipods on a couple of the firearms, but I haven't seen a tripod yet.
And see, when I hear tripod, I'm picturing something like a camera it sits on, right? A tripod that sits on the floor and extends up 4 or 5 feet. I'm picturing that in each window with a gun on the top. Now, maybe, and this is what I was picturing, because I saw the bipod, that's on the front of the rifles. I did see that in the room in the leaked video or the leaked photographs. Now, with a tripod, could you just have like a normal camera tripod that you would just rest your hand on the top of it? You wouldn't have to mount the gun to it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
they're real common. It sits in they just make an adapter that screws on top of the tripod, just like a camera.
Right.
And it's called a saddle, and it's about 4 inches long. People use them all the time. They're extremely popular in hunting or sighting in, something similar to the shooting stick, which is 2 legs, but the people discussing this don't even know the difference between bi and tri.
Yeah, I know.
Much less firearm. You know, they don't even know. And these people that are telling us this are in the industry. You know, they see tripods all the time. There's tripods in their studio.
Now, Travis, we're going to be headed towards a break here. So I want to thank you for the phone call, but I got 2 more questions. You were just talking about, and you can answer short, you were talking about the gas buildup at the end of the, and it would change the rate of fire, right? With the semi-automatic that was shooting automatic, is that problematic, or do you have to change the barrel too?
Yeah, it's problematic. It depends on what kind of ammo you shoot. You know, some of the ammo is dirtier than others, and it'll carbon foul faster than others.
All right. Okay.
You know, so it's a problem.
All right. Next question. Out of all of the videos that you viewed, I know that you were counting shots like everybody was. How many shots do you think were fired in that 10, 12, 15 minutes?
Well, I don't think I've seen a video yet that had captured all the fire.
Right.
You know, I'm not sure, but I would guess, 1,400 to 1,600 rounds.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And as far as the flash, real quick, as far as the flash on the 4th floor, there's video somewhere showing that strobe light going on 4 hours before the shooting.
Oh, okay.
That's nothing, right?
Right. I didn't see a broken window there, and that's what the videos. You watch it and you're like, "Holy crap!" Okay, there it is, 4th floor. It's kind of obvious, but I didn't see a window open. It looked like it was flashing from the inside of the window. To my eyes. Okay,
yeah, it was probably a kid's toy.
I've got 1 more minute, and so 1 more quick question, Travis, because I appreciate your info, and it sounds like you really know what you're talking about. 1,400 rounds of ammo being spit out like that. Wouldn't it be all over that hotel room?
Yeah, it would be covered in brass, the floor.
Yeah.
No question.
Okay, all right. There you go. Travis, man, be safe out there in Texas, man. And I really, 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 and I'm serious about this, I really appreciate the info, and it sounds like you know exactly what you're talking about. And thank you for the phone call.
Hey, brother, I hide in shadows, and I'm in Texas, but I've been a loyal fan for the last 2.5 years. Great work, Jimmy, great work.
Yeah, thank you so much, Travis. Don't be a stranger.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
thanks a lot, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you. First-time caller right there, Travis out of Texas. I will never forget not one of the first times, but certainly the first time I went through a drive-through bar, right? Liquor store. And I was with somebody that lived in, I don't know if they still do this. This is 1995. And I was with somebody there, and they were like, "Hey, man, have you ever done?" And I said, "No." And so we went and we literally got some mixed drinks, some cocktails like daiquiris or something at a drive-through. And the guy in front of us, it was a pickup truck with a couple of guns in the back window, right there on some gun racks, getting a cocktail in front of us, and he drove away. And way before all this DWI and all these, restrictions that we have today on, which are, should be there. There's no question about that. But I just scratched my head and thought to myself, this doesn't quite feel right. I mean, man, they love, Texas is great. They got their own thing going on. And I literally ordered daiquiris from a drive-through window. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight, open lines. More of your phone calls next. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation. And Angioprim is the result, a safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Do you worry a lot? If you're forgetful, nervous, moody, or overwhelmed, chances are you're not protecting yourself from the ravaging effects of stress and anxiety. No matter the cause, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, your quality of life, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in as little as 1 to 2 weeks and increase your ability to recall facts, names, and numbers in 4 to 12 weeks. Calm and Clever was created by scientist Kurt Hendricks, a principal investigator in 2 NIH-funded studies on Alzheimer's disease. Try Calm and Clever for 2 months. You'll feel the difference. Call 1-800-758-8746 or go to calmandclever.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight. I'm in the chair, taking phone calls all night long. Welcome to everybody on YouTube, Bunker Cam, all of you Fadernauts. How you guys doing? Open lines all night long, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right. Now, a couple of comments that have popped up here in Twitter I wanted to address. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to you. When was the last time any Fader can remember that Fadernight not discussing some tragic news from earlier in the week? Seems that way. It's an interesting observation. What I am tripping on right now, well, aside from the fact that there has not been a flat earther that has called into this show. It's been a long time. It's probably been a year. And I don't know if they're scared, they're nervous, or whatever. Flat earthers are, they'll tweet, they'll post, they'll comment, they'll post videos. But I don't think, it takes a lot of courage to come onto a show like this and say, hey, you know what? Even here, where we have an open mind. I just posted in the chat room earlier, flat earthers welcome here, right? you know, and I see the comments, right? But no, nobody wants to call in. You can't call in and say that the earth is flat. You just can't do it. I don't think if a flat earther, watch me on the cam, flat earther calling in, you know, cell phone in hand, right? Okay, the earth is flat. You know, they're laughing on the other end of the line. They're not being serious, you know. They're not. They know the earth is round. They just want to try to stir the pot and try to be troll-ish, you know, on Twitter or the chat rooms or whatever. It's really a funny thing to experience. Anyway, back to it seems the way that this is playing out to me, and if you think about it, and I brought this up with John, we have collectively as a country the experience of what we went through with 9/11. And no matter what you believe about 9/11, and that's wherever you want to go with that, that's fine. It truly doesn't matter to me. It's just a crazy subject. But we went through that experience of all of these different stories and explanations and theories and the government obviously not telling us the truth about that these are facts, okay? Now something comes along now today, like what just went down in Las Vegas, the biggest mass shooting in United States history. Now, we are armed and ready for a conspiracy. If you don't start giving us the answers out of the gate here, and things, 2 and 2 are adding up to 4, and you are making sense to us, that's one thing. The way that this is played out, nothing adds up here, and they're not giving us the straight answers on any of it. If it was one guy in a hotel room, you know everything about him. This is an open and shut case. Tell us everything. And they're not doing that. You know, and the information that they're giving us right now is stinky. It's smelly. That's it. So if they want a problem, they're going to get it. Today, we have the ability to research, to look into, and forget about the government having all of this information. We have it. It's all at our disposal. And Americans are smart. This audience is smart. We have the ability to go and find out facts and data on anything really, really quickly. We have that very, very smart people out there. A lot smarter than the ATF or the FBI. So think about that. This is not going to go away for a long time. With that, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi.
Hey, this is Tinette.
Tinette, how are you?
I am great.
You just wanted to say that so you could watch Twitter light up. That's
That's awesome.
Okay.
So, my husband was in the military. I know you got other callers, but I wanted to make a quick comment that they used to shoot 50 caliber and M60s in the military purposely until they melted.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally, the barrels would turn red hot, and as long as you are still shooting, then the barrels would stay intact. Once you stop shooting, that's when you don't want to go any further, because he said the 50 cals would get so hot that they would literally melt the barrel, and the barrel would melt down, and then they would still be firing rounds because the gun was so freaking hot that it would just keep going by itself.
You know, that's a very, very interesting point, because you could, and I understand, as the barrels would go from, this red hot status to cooling, they would probably change their shape, right?
Exactly.
The gun itself is hot. I'm wondering about, you're right. It would start to misfire and maybe even jam up. So you would shoot until You couldn't shoot the gun anymore. Maybe that's why he had 23 of them up there, because he was not he wasn't reloading. He was probably just changing weapons, right? Red hot.
That's what I'm thinking. And then the second window that was broken out, he probably already had a setup over on the second window to where when he got the first one red hot, then he just switched over to the second side.
Right. And he probably had if he had 23 weapons, then he probably had 10 or something set up and ready to go by each window, right? Clips already in place, ready to go, and he is shooting until it's done. He's not reloading, is he? He's throwing the gun down
I don't think so.
And grabbing another gun.
If you shoot that many rounds out of it and the barrel's red hot, then once you stop and take the time to reload and then get back to firing the same gun, then you're in trouble.
Right.
Then you're basically, your bullets are going to go wherever. But if you stop, grab another one out of the other window.
What do you think, Tanette, and I'm asking everybody the same question because it needs to be asked. This just feels funky, right? Even if you're just not even in our conspiracy circles. You're not.
Yeah, it totally does.
It just feels weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It doesn't add up. I mean, anybody with some smarts and common sense would realize that. How is that possible?
And the other point, and I'm probably going to discuss this a little bit further here. This is what I don't understand. I don't understand any of it. But if you are somebody that appears to be normal, right? He's an ex-accountant. He's got money. He's buying homes. He's together. If you're out buying homes, that means you're dealing with insurance and brokers, and you're smart. You're a together person. You know what I'm saying? And if you go from appearing to be normal, in control of your life, your finances, you're buying cars, you're together, and then if you slip into this darkness, don't people notice that? Isn't somebody around you questioning things about you? You're not acting normal. And
I would think, right, that somebody would notice something fishy. Or they, hindsight's 20/20. They would think back and go, "Oh yeah, wait a minute. He said so and so, back then. I wonder if that was related." But there's nothing.
Right. And his girlfriend, roommate, whatever. It's funny how they're not saying fiance or girlfriend or anything like that. Referring to her as a roommate, who after a year, I don't know, drops $100,000 on somebody and tells them to go buy a house, right?
That sounds to me like he was actually kind of telling her, "See you later. I'm out of here."
How about keep your mouth shut?
That could be true.
I'm just saying. But nobody's talking about, and how even after a year, she didn't notice anything strange in his behavior. Something changed that suddenly he took this drop. And when you go, I would think that if you go from being, Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky gambler guy with cash, floating out everywhere, and you're buying houses and supporting people and driving fancy cars and gambling $10,000 a night and $100 a hand poker and all of these things that are attributed to him, then to go from happy-go-lucky guy that loves life to suddenly planning this and nobody notices this step into darkness, it just feels, all of it. It just nothing adds up here. It just doesn't.
So, the whole thing is just it's just not right. I mean, like I said, anybody with common sense should be able to figure that out.
And
somebody said, well, why isn't there bullets, riddled on the cars around in the area and all that stuff? Well, he's on the supposedly 32nd floor of that thing. It's going to go way over the cars. I don't understand what the reasoning behind that was.
Yep. And again, we could sit. I have got 100 different issues with this, but mine are the obvious things. Once you start to talk about one thing, you have to talk about the other and the other. And the other point, and I'm telling you, I know how Las Vegas is. You go down those hallways in a Las Vegas hotel. I've done it so many times. It's deathly quiet. Everything is soundproofed. You have the nice carpeting, and you see these long hallways with 100 rooms, right? 50 doors on each side. All the way down the hallway, nothing but cameras, right? Just cameras everywhere. And it's dead silent. And you're telling me that nobody in any of these hotel rooms, anybody didn't hear these shots going off. I know, I'm telling you, if I'm sitting in my hotel room at 10 o'clock at night and I hear machine gun fire from next door, I'm calling the front desk.
Right.
And nobody did
you
anything.
can tell, okay, if you can hear the shots from the venue, however many yards across the street, I still haven't got a definite answer about that, but you're shooting from a building up in the air that will echo all over the place, which that could have explained some of the so-called second shots, possibly.
Right.
So you're shooting way from the top of the building, and it's echoing down, and everybody down on the venue can hear the shots. Then there was no silencer used.
No.
Because,
There's Tanette, have you been to Las Vegas?
No.
Okay. Well, let me just say this, and then I'm going to get to these other phone calls. But I want you to understand. Okay. I want the audience to understand. That was Las Vegas Boulevard. Okay? Uh-huh. Las Vegas Boulevard, those sidewalks, that street, that hotel, from there all the way up to the Strip is nothing but police cars, foot patrols, bike cops, private security guards, everywhere you look.
That's what I understand. It's cameras everywhere.
Everywhere. And nobody bothered to just look up and go, it's right there. There's the room. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Tanette, thank you so much. And Red Hot Barrels, I will always associate you now with Red Hot Barrels. And tell your husband thanks for the information.
Oh, no problem.
Have a great night, Tanette. Everybody is excited. Tanette was just on the phone with us. T. Booth. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Good evening, Jimmy. This is Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina. How are you?
I wanted to touch on how all of these different things are connected. Everything is connected. If you look at how our laws have been put into place with prohibitions, things being prohibited, denied, and how these things are being told to us that we're not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that. Look at this MK Ultra program. In truth, this is something that has been in play and in place throughout society and all humanity. Since the beginning of time, it's only been bumped up to a new level recently. If you think about this, everything you think you know and believe in to be true has been taught to you by someone else, just as it was taught to them and the ones before them.
That's right.
And no one has bothered to question what was taught to them because they were taught that those in authority have the ultimate say. You are not to question authority. When you do, you are punished. Pain, suffering, ostracism.
Not in every case, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's the only way, and I speak about this. I've been doing this for years and years and years. There always has been and has to have been an element of control. You have to. And it goes back when you say I'm telling, I discuss this all the time. And it's very simple. If you have, if you go back 5,000 years, 4,000 years, 5,000, 3,000 BC, 2,500, 2,000 BC, pick a country.
Started in the temples.
Of course it did. It had to. And so pick a country, pick a town, pick a cluster, or pick a tribe. Okay, you needed to do a couple of things, right? A couple of things, and I'll give you the short list. A, every day everybody had to eat. B, every single day everybody had to survive the night. You had to be able to make it to the sunset or the sunrise the next day. That was your goal. You didn't want to freeze. You didn't want to get eaten. You didn't want to die. You had to make it to the next day. All right. And then number 3, you had to have children. Those were the 3 goals, right? That's it. It's called survival. Now, if there was something going on in the community, whatever it is, that disrupted those 3 things, humanity doesn't survive. So you had to have control. And you had to have control through fear. You didn't have control through happiness. You didn't have control through anything else. You had to have control through fear. And how do you scare somebody that's uneducated, that's not writing or anything? You teach them that God says. That's it. That's what you do. That's what you have.
Exactly.
If I'm the leader of the village and I need everybody to stay in line to go and get food the next day, today, right? Somebody to stand guard all night long so, some predators didn't come in and kill somebody while they were sleeping. All of this comes into play. And what am I going to do? God says you need to go and pick some berries. God says you need to go and kill a goat. God says that's what you do. And if you don't do this, God's going to come down on us. And that's it. Yeah. And that's been going on. That's the only way. Who else is going to, who else is going to stay in line? They're not. They're not,
Exactly.
So
now, the guns, this thing with the guns, this push, all of it is gauged to get us to lay down and beg to be saved. And in one fell swoop, they are trying to disarm us. And in disarming us, they then can turn us into these slaves they want.
Yeah, but now, I hear you. But this is, you know what? You're right. On the surface, that sounds like that's what's going on. Let me tell you, the opposite happens. You know what's going on right now today? You know what's going on today? Gun sales through the roof. That's what's going on. Ammunition through the roof. It's, you know what? It's a good day to be a gun store. So it's the exact opposite is the effect. And that's it's weird. I understand that thought because, like I said, on the surface, that seems like that is the motive here is to somehow take away rights, or they're going to come in and start taking our guns. There's going to be a buyback program. That's it. If you've got guns, stash them in your basement. Don't tell anybody you got them because they're going to come and get them. I understand that. It makes sense. But you know what? The exact opposite takes place.
Yeah. Well, everything they've been doing is backfiring. Everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree.
I've sent you some emails about all of this stuff that's been going on. If you check my Facebook, you can see some of the things that I've been channeling about it.
Okay,
I'll find it interesting.
I'll do my best to go and check it out. All right?
All right. Blessings to you, brother. Hugs and love.
Thank you, Sabrina. Behave.
All right. Bye-bye.
Great phone call. Let's stay on the phones. Oh, I hung up on the wrong line. I just disconnected an entire phone bank. Oh, man. I apologize to everybody that was on hold. Okay. All right. Let me. I wish you guys could see in the studio what I just did. Let me do a hard reset here. Man. All right. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I apologize for that. I slipped. It was the slip of a mouse. Okay, here we go. Everything's coming back in. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Damien from Hamilton.
Hey, Damien. How are you?
I'm doing well, Jimmy. How's it going?
It's Thursday night, man.
Tonight.
It's Thursday night.
Yeah, so listen, I was trying to call you yesterday. I've been receiving like these other downloads. Okay, let me start here. You know how everybody talking about planet, Nibiru showing up, Planet X, all this stuff, how it might affect our Earth and all that. Well, this is what I've been getting. I think there is something very nearby, but it's not exactly a planet. It's more like a ship, almost like a Death Star in Star Wars. I know this sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't.
But the reason we cannot see it is because it's cloaked. And it is affecting a lot of stuff here on planet Earth. And that's just something that I got, and I just wanted just to put that out there and see what you think and what the audience thinks.
Well, what I would love is for some of the amateur astronomers out there, right, to see it, to catch it. It's not that kind of party anymore, not like the old days. Today we have technology and amazing optics and telescopes and automation, and you're able to do anything you want out there when it comes to astronomy. And I would love for somebody, look, every time an asteroid shows up now, to me, it seems like it's an amateur astronomer that finds it. It's not some professional somewhere that I need confidence in, right? And so wouldn't it be great if something like that was captured? Now, Damien, I want to ask you a question really quick.
Yes.
I've got about 90 seconds here. What do you make? I'm just going to do this, man. I have to ask you, what do you make of this flat Earth stuff?
I don't really believe on the whole flat Earth thing, but then again, I'm pretty open-minded about it. I'm open-minded about everything, Jimmy. I know it sounds crazy.
No, you have to be. You have to be, and I respect that.
Yeah, and it's.
but okay, but let me ask you this. Is the Earth round?
Yes.
Okay. How, and you have an open mind, how does somebody out there, open mind, closed mind, no mind at all, great mind, genius, I don't care, but how does somebody buy into the Earth as being flat?
One simple answer that I have for that is that it's a type of programming that's been set out there to try again, to try to throw off people to, it's almost like a distraction, Jimmy. It can come from conspiracy theories, from people throwing out ideas, from people doing crazy stuff in the world, crazy weather. Look, let me throw this at you. Okay. Every time there's a hurricane, everybody concentrates like, oh, there's a hurricane here. So everybody's tuned in, and then another one happens, and then another one, and then another one. Okay, and then say there's a terrorist attack, and everybody tunes in, oh, there's a terrorist attack, and then there's another one, and there's another one. So I see this trend.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
That we manifest these things almost like when people concentrate on something and they focus on certain things.
Right.
Doesn't it seem like more of it happens?
Well, I'll tell you, and I agree. I've got to hit a break right here, Damien, but this is what I find strange. It seems to be perfectly timed in a cycle.
Exactly.
We hit a nice week, a nice lull, and then boom. right? And it's not something small; it's something big. You know, it's a cyclical thing. Damien, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow night on Coast, my friend.
All right, Jimmy, and thank you for taking my call, and shout out to all the Fadernights. Thank you for everything you do, Jimmy.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Damien. It's Fade to Black. More of your phone calls next. If you're on hold, stay right there.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
I'm Matt Ray with America's First News. We all know if you're planning a trip, you should shop and compare, right? But why endlessly search the web when you don't have to? Flight Services helps you find the lowest possible airfare. Talk directly to a travel pro right now for the best deals available. Their travel pros have additional discounts not found on websites, and Flight Services provides 24-hour customer service. Call toll-free 844-845-9944. That's 844-845-9944.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight, taking your phone calls all night long, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Now, I just posted up in Twitter. Did you guys see this? Now, this coin, okay, look, go over to Twitter and check it out. This coin is dated 1656. Now, there's a couple of issues with this. I with all the research that I have done, it seems like this is what I found out, that these are two different coins. The back of the coin with the alien head on it is not the coin that you're seeing here. It's two different coins. And if you look at the ridge, you can see that the ridges don't match on both coins. So it's two different coins. Okay, so don't freak out there. But they come from the same period. And allegedly, both coins were found in the same house in Egypt, where they were renovating the house and these coins surfaced. It was last year, 2016. The best information. Now, the coins made it out there. And when they did, there was no other information with the coins to accompany. Nothing about where the house is, or, who it is, nothing like that. But they're both interesting. One shows what definitely looks like your typical alien gray head. This guy looks a little old, though. He's kind of got some wrinkles going on. But it doesn't look human, right? So why depict this on the coin? I forget what it says in Latin. It says something like, take me to your leader or something. No, I'm joking. It says something like, we're here, or, we're here, or something is coming. And that's the one with the alien head. The other coin I find more intriguing because that clearly shows ground on the bottom, right? It's a scene with clouds up on top and something flying. Almost looks like it's got some kind of airfoils or wings or some kind of shape to it. But it doesn't look like an animal. It doesn't look like a bird. It doesn't look like anything else. It's pretty trippy looking. But why have an object like that on a coin in the sky? Now, I have also found in my research on these coins, and I want you guys to go and gals to go and research this and get back to me what you can find out. There were a lot of coins that were made privately. Okay, so this isn't necessarily something from a government or an official mint or something like that. It was possibly something that was privately minted in a very small scale. But here they are. Very interesting. The alien head guy, if that was supposed to be a human, then the artist that made this coin didn't have much talent, because that guy's a freak. But if it is what it is, then there you go. It's an alien gray. Now, this is the other part for me that I'm still okay with. They could be complete hoaxes. Fake. Maybe somebody added this alien head to an existing coin. Possibility. Maybe somebody took an ancient coin, made a copy of it, and then, pressed it and made a copy of it, their own casting, and then added it. Instead of adding the alien head to an existing coin, but actually they meant this is modern, made to look old. And the same thing with the coin that's dated 1656. It's possible that they just took another coin and made a copy of it and then added this object there, and it could be just complete forgeries. But nonetheless, really, really interesting and fun to look at. So you guys see what you can find out. All right? Okay. With that, Eric, obviously that coin there, which is famous, we've seen this around for a long time. It's been on Ancient Aliens a million times. Very similar, right? Okay? So think about that. Thank you for that posting. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Mr. Church, it's Jason. How's it going, bud?
Hey, Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've had a lot to think tonight, so I apologize if I ramble a little bit.
That's okay.
So this whole thing, we have to agree, it's extremely obvious, right? At this point, it's like they're not even really trying anymore to hide the fact that things don't add up.
I mean, I know. The answer is yes, but continue.
Yes. But so here's what I'm thinking. If they're not even trying to hide it anymore, I feel like this whole thing has become a game to the powers that be. That like there's another level that they're playing. That now at this point they're just throwing stuff out there, and it becomes more about another level of fear. Because now, just follow me here, now we don't only have to worry about the lone gunman. We don't have to worry about ISIS. It's blatant now that we have to worry about some organization that is capable of doing whatever they want, whenever they want, and can get away with it right in front of our face. You know?
Yep.
So it's right out on Front Street now, and there isn't a thing that we can do about it.
Well, let me throw this out there. I'm going to throw this out there for the audience. Listen to this, Jason. We have had the craziest news cycles day after day after day after day after day after day. I mean, the craziest stuff. You wake up in the morning, whether it's something crazy out of Washington, D.C., or something out of Europe, something out of Syria, something out of Russia, something out of North Korea, Harvey, Irma, Maria, hurricanes, earthquakes, just a news cycle that has been unending. So let me ask you this, as crazy as this may sound, do you even remember what the news was last Friday? You don't. Do you remember what happened? Of course not. Let me tell you something. Last Friday, I don't even have to look it up. Last Friday was the craziest news day of the entire year. Let me ask you about Thursday of last week. Do you remember the news? No, you don't.
No, I don't.
It was also, up until Friday, it was the craziest news day of the entire year. And so was Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday. Go backwards. The news has been so nuts and out of control. One thing is masking the next. Let me tell you, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, North Korea was launching, testing nuclear bombs, firing missiles over Japan. Right? Think about this.
Hey, didn't North Korea say that we declared war on them a week or so ago?
You don't even remember it now.
Yeah.
That's how crazy. Just right now, Puerto Rico, right? People are drinking rainwater and eating crackers, and the entire country, 5% of the country has power right now, right? One of the big. This is an American. It's not a state, but it's a state. Those are American citizens there. One of the biggest tragedies. Think about the humanitarian things that are going on in Puerto Rico. We don't even remember it. Think going back to what just happened in Texas, Harvey. What just happened in Florida. Right? 90% of Florida out of power. Just crazy things. 24-hour news coverage. Forgotten.
And those people haven't even started rebuilding it. That effort hasn't even started.
I don't know how the news has been like it is. I mean, Trump's cabinet quitting or getting fired. Once a week, something going on. The health, taxes, Obamacare, reform, repeal. Just craziness that is hidden. I've never experienced news like this every single day. Now, with all of what has gone down in the Caribbean, in Cuba, and all of the islands there, and of course Puerto Rico and the Florida Keys and Florida and Houston, Texas. This is craziness, and it's all been blurred. And then suddenly we have this tragedy, 59 people being shot in Las Vegas. I'm not calling anything nuts here. I'm just saying it's another example of the craziest news cycles we've ever had. We thought there was going to be an Armageddon EMP nuclear blast over the United States, and we needed to protect our infrastructure. Whatever happened to that discussion? It's gone, right? Right, you know, and Iran wants to back out of their nuclear arms deal, and you know they're ready to start. Wait a minute here. It's become a blur. Every 24 hours, you wake up in the morning. The craziest news of the entire year is starting on that day, and it covers up the craziest news of the year that was the day before, and the day before that, and the day before. We just had 3 hurricanes, if you count Jose. You know that was in there too, back to back to back to back to back. Devastation in the United States. A huge earthquake in Mexico City, huge. It's all a blur. It's all a blur. It's all a blur.
2 earthquakes. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 earthquakes. Yeah. And all of the stuff with Russia meddling, yes or no, don't know. You know, Kim Jong-un, fatty fat. What's going on? Don't know. We're dealing with this right now. Wait a minute. He's arming missiles and wants to fire them into Hawaii, Guam, and Los Angeles. Don't know. I thought we were just sending a carrier group there. Right? It's all nuts. It's all nuts. I don't know.
You just rattling that off has got my head spinning already. It's just a spin.
I'm telling you, it's really fascinating, these news stories. If I went, and I could do it tomorrow, to me it's like a boring show, but I could actually go back, and I invite all of the Fadernauts to do this. Just go back in your Wayback Machine, and go to October 4th, October 3rd, 2nd, 1st, September 30th, 29th, 30th. Just go backwards and look at the headlines of the day. I don't care who you pick. Go to RT, go to BBC, go to Sky News, go to MSNBC, go to CNN, go to Fox. Pick your news source, ABC, CBS. Go pick your news source. New York Times, LA Times. Go pick Washington Post. Go pick your news source and look at the headlines that day. It was the biggest news of the year, the decade. And it's been going on like this every single day. I don't know how this population can handle it. I don't know. You know what? And I brought this up. I'm glad, Jason. Thank you for letting me rant. I'm glad you brought this up, because I'll tell you the frightening part about this. You're talking about it because you're concerned, right? You listen to the show, you know, you're concerned about the world and our society and things in your family. And so you're on top of your game. But I bet the vast majority of the United States, if not even the world, if you went and asked them about some of these headlines, they wouldn't know anything about it. Forget about not remembering. They never read it to begin with. Right? Seriously. They're not concerned about what's going on in Washington. They don't care. They don't care about North Korea. They don't know about the earthquake in Mexico. They don't follow this stuff. That's the crazy part. That's what's really, really, to me, really, really, really nutty. You know, you know, you would think that everybody is watching the news on their smartphones, they're engaged in social media, they're watching that, you know, what's trending on Twitter and these breaking news stories. You know what? We are the exception. The rule is most people do not. They don't. They don't. They're not up on the day-to-day things. They don't know who Merkel is. They don't know about what's going on in Syria. They don't know about the elections in Germany. They don't know about these things. You know, Catalonia and what's going on in Spain right now. They want a separate state. in Spain. I mean, it's police brutality. They're out killing people in the streets right now. They've been stealing voting boxes and votes and preventing it. It's a crazy thing that's going. Do you think anybody here in the United States knows about that? They don't. They don't. They don't. So anyway, Jason, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to rant. But
hey, no problem.
It's just
if I can say one thing, the antidote for a lot of this stuff, if you can take it on a personal level, help your neighbors out. You see somebody walking their kid to school and they're having a hard time, walk their kid to school. Open doors for people. Be nice to people around you. Do what you can to help people around you. Do what you can to make your immediate environment a better place, and do what you can to just be kind to people, to just do what you can for your soul, because in the end, that's all you're going to take with you. All this other stuff is going to fade away eventually, and all these concerns are going to go, and you just have to be a good person and be good to the people around you and do what you can to in your environment. And that's the only thing I can take from this, because all this stuff it becomes too much when you get bombarded with all this stuff. Pay attention to it, but don't let your soul become blackened by it. And that's all I have to say for the antidote, because none of us are going to solve all these problems on our own.
No, you're absolutely right. Help your neighbor, and then cold shot of vodka, wash down with some River Moon coffee. That'll take care of everything.
Amen to that, brother.
Jason,
Amen to that.
Behave and be well, man. We'll see you tomorrow night on Coast.
You will.
Have a great night.
You too, sir.
That right there is a great phone call. Well, they're all great, right? They're all great. Let's stay on the phones. Last call of the night. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Yep.
Hey, Jimmy, this is Scott. How are you, sir?
Oh, hey, Scott, how are you? Last call of the night. There you go.
Yeah.
You got in.
I always wait to the last for you.
You got in. I'm sorry, you were on hold, and there was another, you know what? There's another 5 behind you, but they're going to have to sit right there. And I know they're going, man. That's the way it is, man.
Listen, Jimmy, I'm so passionate about Fade to Black. When I was a kid, all we had was Omni Magazine.
You got that right.
And if you ever mentioned UFO or aliens, these kids would just kick you to the curb. But thank God we have you.
Do you remember, Scott, let's go back to 1985, 86, 87. Were you listening to AM late night talk radio back then, or were you just too busy partying on the strip?
No. I listened to Art Bell and some of the stuff back in those days, and I was a little tripped out about it. I didn't.
Well, this was before Art. Art didn't come on the air probably until 93. But in 1985, 86, 87, here in L.A. was a show on Saturday nights on KABC Talk Radio. And it was a guy named Bill Jenkins. And he had a show called Open Minds. And that show on Saturday night, it was the same as Fade to Black, right? Same as Coast to Coast. And he had all the cats on. But it was just absolutely unbelievable. So, you mentioned Fade to Black today, and I thank you for that. But I was just wondering if you were wrapped up in it in 85, 86 and listening to the great Bill Jenkins.
I wasn't, but thank God we have you, and then someone who, like you, was so passionate about the mysteries and wonders of this world. So, Jimmy, I thank you for that. I really do.
Okay.
Jimmy, all of history as we know it, it has been revised, rewritten, twisted, and tweaked, probably by selfishly motivated men to achieve and maintain control over other men. So my proposal is I think it's time to rewrite the history books, and I nominate you and Giorgio to take control of this. Let's get it right this time and rewrite the new textbooks for the kids.
Well, that's always, that's one of my things. It's so weird that if something modern changed things today, right? How fast does everything get rewritten? Now, you're talking about every textbook in the world. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say this. What if, let's go with JFK. Right? We have Oswald, right? The lone gunman there, right? That's it.
Okay.
And the conspiracies are more than one, maybe 2, maybe 3 guys, right? Okay. What if it came out as a fact there was 2 more gunmen and they were named, right? And the proof it comes out, and even the government says, "Okay, that's it. This is the real truth." Okay, here it is. JFK, 3 gunmen. Here's the other 2 guys. Here are their names. How long do you think it would take to get that in print in every textbook on planet Earth? One fact. Now, Wikipedia, that gets updated in a couple of seconds, right? Okay. But I'm talking about what's in print. I don't know. I think about that all the time. Whether it's the Great Pyramid in Giza, right? Khufu, Cheops, whatever you want to call it, and the book that came out, the Great Pyramid Hoax, by Crichton about 6 months ago. Now, pretty definitive. The facts are there. I would say that he's right. But let's say it came out that it was not Khufu, right? And so we have to rename the pyramid or rename the Sphinx. These are in all the history textbooks in every school, every university, all around, all the encyclopedia, everything. It's out there. How long would it take? I don't know. Would they do it?
I don't know. I don't know either, Jimmy, but that's what really seriously got me started in all this mystery of everything. And I was listening to you and Giorgio talk about that, I think in April, and it was the way they had precise cuts on the blocks, how much it weighed, how they got it in there, I guess it's a copies, tombs and stuff, how they got it all placed into position. How they get it down those tunnels? I mean, it's ridiculous to really think that there was not some sort of magic, as you guys talked about, to get it in there, because that's what it might have took it to get it there.
Yep. I totally agree with that. And the other thing that I really trip on, this is a major point that nobody will talk about, not an Egyptologist and so forth, but the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid. Not one block, not one joint, nothing has shifted in 4,500 years.
That's crazy.
Has not shifted. You know how many earthquakes have gone down in Cairo? You know how many times that city has been leveled? Do you have any idea, right? Okay, so the Great Pyramid didn't fall down. Okay, I can buy into that. But it also didn't change. It didn't change. Nothing shifted. Now, I've been through many earthquakes here in L.A., and I can't imagine going through a 6.5, 7.0 here in Los Angeles, and a pen doesn't roll off my desk, let alone the refrigerator, going across the floor and tipping over. But the King's Chamber is perfect. Now you can say, oh, it's the weight, it's the joints, it's 50-ton, 70-ton blocks, it's the way it was built. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, I got a little funny point for you real quick, and I know you got to roll here.
No, actually, hold on. I've got 5 seconds. So Scott, well, let's pick this. We'll pick this up on Monday, my friend.
You got it, my friend. You take care of yourself.
Have a good night.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Man, what a great night. Thank you, everybody. Took it up to the bloody end there. I just looked up at the clock, and I was 2 seconds late. So I'm going to be 2 seconds late getting out of here. Want to thank everybody that phoned in tonight. Twitter was on fire. Thank you, everybody. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Mark T. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. Thank you to John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio, and I'll see everybody tomorrow night Over at Coast to Coast AM, I'll be sitting in for George Norrie, my guest, Damon T. Barry, followed by open lines all night long. I want everybody to be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.